Welcome back everybody, it's me Garmanza92. I am happy today because we are finally bringing MotoGP 22 to the channel. A little bit later than I would have liked. Been away recently on my honeymoon and we are back, so we are back to creating content. So yes, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button and hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content or you just want to check out some other stuff. Don't forget the notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos as they come up. So yes, as I said, we are back with we are now with MotoGP 22. So let's dive in with our first play, starting up the game, and see what we think of the new addition in the MotoGP Milestone Series. Righto, so here we are, MotoGP 22, finally coming to the channel. Apologies, it's a little bit late. This game's been out for about 3 or 4 weeks now. I did film this, I recorded this just before we left for the honeymoon, which was unfortunate because I did want to get it out to you guys, but and if you haven't seen in the news, the aggros with the passports, unfortunately we were affected by that, but luckily it did mean we still got to go out on the honeymoon. It just meant I didn't get to get this video out to you earlier than I wanted. So yes, anyway, with that being said, this is the initial startup, the first time we had played the game, first time we started up the game, and of course the first part of that is you have to set your rider up. So we're going to go with the same sort of thing as last time. We're going to use ourselves. We might maybe lie a little bit about our age just because I like it to be as realistic as we can. So bodies, we've got Type 1 and Type 2, because the cool thing about this edition is that you've got the identity of a he or a she. So that's pretty cool. So the different faces, there isn't as many faces as, if I'm honest, I would have preferred in the game. There's only 10, so yeah, not as many as I would have liked. I would have liked to have a little bit more of a choice. It's very sort of basic as well. You've not got anyone that really has got facial hair like myself. So it was really difficult to choose one. We were trying to go with someone with a little bit of difference, maybe a better hairstyle than unfortunately all of these have, but yeah, sort of a neutral person rather than the same sort of hair that we go for last time. We did think about going for age 24, but again, as I said, we're going to try and be as realistic as possible. And if you're in Moto 3, most of the guys in Moto 3 these days are relatively quite young, so we do sit with that. Then we jump straight into the MotoGP 22 tutorials, which is I don't know if this is a new setting. I don't recall seeing it in the last one, but I'm not saying it wasn't there. But one of the things I did want to chuck in first was the ride height device, which for me is quite interesting. I like the idea of bringing that into the game. Obviously, those of you that are MotoGP fans that watch the actual races, there is it's a big thing at the moment. The ride height devices coming off the line, coming out of the quick corners for the bikes like the Ducati. It's very helpful for them and it's benefit them in the main series. So yeah, like I say, with that, we're just going to flick through a couple of the settings here just to sort of make it as custom as possible. We like to disable, try and make it as realistic on the bike as we can. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing at the moment, just flicking through the settings. But yeah, I wanted to bring the ride height device as the first thing. I didn't realise that you were going to get a tutorial on it so that you could sort of understand how to use it. Like I say, I don't know if this is a new part for this game or whether it was in the last one. But anyway, with that being said, we've got to control Maverick Vinales around the Thailand circuit. From playing this, we had recently, maybe I suppose, played in or raced at Thailand, so we weren't too bothered about it. This is our first break-in into the first corner as we go very wide and drop the front end. As I said, first time playing this game, so bear with me. Bear with me. We are going to make mistakes, so we just quickly hit the reset button there as we go round for autopilot. So in this, anyway, we've got to complete a lap, activating the ride height device and a reference time of a 140. I can't really remember, or I couldn't even remember, and I can't now, the time that we set in the last one. So, with that being said, we get a track limits warning. We do use the ride height device there. We're basically just pressing the triangle button as we come out of a corner to one that we want to get the power down. We do have a distance until activation point as we go incredibly wide there. So we do activate it when that disappears, and you get on the bottom of the screen there that goes it goes orange when you're going around the corner, and then it activates and it goes green. So that's pretty cool, if I'm honest. I do like that addition. We go round this corner, pressing the buttons there to try and get the tyre marking back out, and end up hitting the curb, which is going to slow us down on our time a little bit. I did notice that this time the bikes do, in my opinion, they do feel a little bit different than last time. Obviously we go very wide out of here. Somehow managed to stay on it but go wide there with the scrolling about. Weren't able to use as much front brake as we would have liked. But yeah, I do feel like they feel different under acceleration. I think the back ends maybe to me feel a little bit more loose. Obviously that might just be the fact that it was the first time of me riding the bike in this game, so maybe trying to ride it a little bit too rough, a little bit too harsh on the braking and the accelerating, and we don't want to be on the curbs either. So we come out of here and we are using our ride height device. We probably brake way too early for this corner, but we didn't want to lose the front end after actually making a clean lap. We used the ride height device coming out of the corner just to try and get as much power down, a 136.4, and we've passed the test. So it reckons we should use semi-automatic for the ride height device, but we're going to stick with manual. We don't want the same as the riders would. If they want to use it, they have to press a button, so we want to do it that we have to press a button as well, to be honest. We needed a 140. We did a 136. You can do all of the other tutorials if you wish, but we don't want to. We're going to jump straight in and try and get some time trial done trials done in Valencia as if it was a new season. For those of you that haven't checked out my MotoGP 21 series, please check that out and maybe look at my last video, as the time trials that we do in a minute will make a little bit more sense to you. So yes, this is the customization screen, which I just wanted to chuck in. Obviously, it being a new edition, I do want to show you guys that, or you people, shouldn't say guys, you people that have seen the video, just want to sort of give you a big update on the different helmets and stuff like that we can get. So we've got Bell helmets. I think that's probably one of the first times I've seen them in this game, which is pretty cool. I do feel like in this edition we've probably got a little bit more helmets, like basic helmets, stock helmets if you like, that you can use within this game than the previous versions. I might be wrong there, but that was just my initial thoughts of sort of scrolling through these to show everyone that, yeah, to me it feels like there's a few more in here than normal. There isn't as many sharks as there normally is. That was something I did notice, and normally I sport a shark crash helmet. I don't really know, if I'm 100% honest, I don't really know what I'm going to go with this year. The reason we're looking around this one is because actually I quite liked it. It's got the little Union Jack flag in there somewhere, but it looks a little bit like a cross between a Union Jack and an Australian, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, we keep scrolling down here. We've got Kira, and that's the end of the options. We do choose a helmet. We've got the numbers. So you've got, these are the standard numbers. They aren't the numbers we've created. We will be creating a crash helmet, and I will be creating a number for our career mode, which hopefully will be the start of the next video. If you guys want to see the new addition to this game as well, the Season 9 or 9, which is Season 2009. If you want to see that on this channel, leave a comment on this video and let me know, and I will bring it to you as soon as we have some career mode footage and we get used to the game. As I'm assuming using the 2009 bikes is going to be even harder than using the prototype MotoGP bike that we get to use in this game. So yeah, we're now looking through the rider name or the rider sticker options that you can have for Torque Master. I did quite like that. Part of me thought about Mind Riot. I do like that one as well. But yeah, like I said, I do also think that the rider stickers on the back of your leathers that you can get there, I think you had a few more options than you did in the previous ones as well. But yeah, I quite like the way that they're going to bring. They're starting to bring different things in and different sorry, not different, more options for you. We're going to go with pink leathers, pink knee sliders and pink boots for this career mode. So I do start changing that already. I'm maybe going to try and make a colour with a little bit of pink in it. Or sorry, a number with a little bit of pink in it, and possibly a crash helmet. I haven't thought of designs yet for my crash helmet that I want to try and create for the channel. Obviously, we like to try and do a standard crash helmet that we use for the most of the season, and then try and do a home Grand Prix special at Silverstone, so we'll see how that goes. So we get to choose a riding style as well, so we are back choosing a riding style. I think we normally go for body out, or I think in the last one I might have gone for shoulders out, so I want to maybe try a different riding style. So we do go with elbows to the ground, breaking leg out, yes, we like the Doctor's Dangle. Feet at the start, we can choose our left foot or our right foot. We do go for the left foot. And breaking fingers, I naturally used two when I was on when I used to ride my bike. So we stick with the two fingers. But yeah, so teams. Let's just have a quick look at teams that you can get when you're doing your career. So these are obviously the teams that you choose if you decide to not race for an official team and you want to start your own team. Probably thinking about it, I am going to choose the official teams. Depends on how much we play this game. Maybe we do play quite a lot of it, and we get to manage to bring some brilliant content to you. If we do, obviously I've chose Repsol here, just sort of stepping in front of myself, because that is the team that we were going to race for last year. But yeah, if I do get quite a lot of content out, which obviously I want to, maybe we look at changing it and getting in the the makeshift teams or the build your own teams for even the junior team as well. So yes, with that being said, we're just going to jump straight into a time trial and have a look at some of the riders. This is before the livery update. So these is as they were standard to the game coming out. The update will come into effect in my next video, because obviously I was away for 3 weeks when they brought the update out. So currently the game is updating for me as I'm back, finally bringing content to you guys. So yeah, this is just a look at it from when it started. So as you can see there, the Suzuki and the Ducati were the different liveries. We haven't got the black mark on the Suzuki. And while we're talking about Suzuki, I just obviously want to have a mention about Suzuki. We are going to try and race for Suzuki this year in this game, as it could be, and looking at the rumours and the speculation, quite possibly be their last year in MotoGP. So a big shame to lose Suzuki. I'm a massive fan of the Suzuki. I had a Suzuki myself. I've been in love with Suzukis for ages, probably ever since 2003. But yes, such a shame that they're leaving, but obviously it's a decision that they've made to try and secure the factory, if you like. And it sounds like they're going to be leaving all of the competitions that they race for. So I don't know if that's going to include World Superbikes, British Superbikes, endurance racing, etc, etc. So yeah, big shame, big shame. But with that being said, we're checking out a few of the other, 3 of the other liveries here, and the other riders that have obviously come up from Moto 2. Yeah, you know, like I say, it's a shame, bit bummed out, but it is what it is. But yeah, so we look at Moto 2. Obviously, we've got Pedro Acosta there, Sam Lowe's, Arbolino, Vietti, Antonelli, Oyagura. Obviously, those of you that have been keeping up, Moto 2's been a little bit interesting this year. For the Brits even, with Jake Dixon, as I say that. Performing, but unfortunately underperforming in the races. They just need to start finishing some races, if you ask me, and just trying to get some points for their teams. But hopefully with a bit of luck they can do soon. Yeah, we keep going. Obviously, we got Kelly, we got Roberts, we got Della Porta there. Aldeguer, he's had a good season at the moment as well. Fanati, haven't really heard much about Fanati. Ben Snyder. Gabriel Rodrigo, another one, he's come up from Moto 3, has been relatively quite quiet. But then it's a big jump from Moto 3 to Moto 2, to be fair. So, yeah. give them the benefit of the doubt for the moment. And we got the 2 there for the Yamaha R46 team. So we move into Moto 3, which is going to be this season that we are in. Sergio Garcia and Istvan Kavara, Foggy, Dennis Foggia there, Suzuki, Ocon, Fernandez, Sasaki, John McVie, who returned in the last race. Was good to see him back after his injury. I've always wanted to ride for that pink team, but I don't know. I haven't looked at any footage for the career modes, if I'm honest. I've been trying to stay away, so it's all new to me. Hopefully I can bring that live as well. That's what I'm planning on doing. Hopefully we can do that with the internet capability that I have. Also, massive shout out to Anna Carrasco there for joining the Moto3 team. She is a world champion, although it is not for MotoGP. It's on the World Superbike Series, but it was with World Supersport, I believe. Scott Ogden and Joshua Watley in the brand new Vision Track team, and obviously at the moment they do not have a livery, which is a big shame. I would absolutely love to ride for that team in Moto3. We'll have to see if that is possible. Hopefully it is. But yeah, for now we're going to jump straight out to Valencia. We are going to ride the Repsol Honda, as that was the bike that we would have drove or would have rid on in the next season of our championship from Moto 21. So we're going to just check out the race options. Bike recovery disabled, telemetry aids off, bike balance disabled. We don't really want to have the bike back. I suppose this is just for time trial though. But no, let's leave it. Let's have it that the Honda is the Honda, which could be a bit tricky because the Honda riders have suffered this year. With not having as much development of the bike, with, if I'm honest, Honda just relying on the fact that when Marquez comes back, even he can ride it if he's fully fit. So, yeah, one of the things we noticed in MotoGP 21 was that our setup for Valencia was pretty much what the recommended options were. So we're just sort of having a look just to make sure that the settings for it are the same. There's not really much difference in the way you set your bike up. Something we did notice is they've got a different brake. 355mm front brake is different. The ECU is still the same: traction control, engine braking, anti-wheelie and power mapping. Fuel still gives you the basic 14.7. So yeah, that being said, let's jump straight onto track and see what sort of lap time we can do, see how the bike feels for us. Obviously it's the first time on a Repsol bike for me, riding these on this game for a long time, so let's see how many laps it takes us to get used to the bike, shall we? It'd be nice that I obviously don't want to drag this video out for too long. We did play it on the day for quite a long time, so we are just going to try and shorten it. This is obviously my first ever lap. I will try and give you the not the bad laps, but the not so good laps and our better laps. So yeah, we just pause it here. I just wanted to have a look at the options that you've got on the main menu. We have a flick through the cycles there for the cameras, and because of that, go extremely wide and drop the front end. So we're doing well. At least we're consistent, because we did that with Maverick Vinales as well. So yeah, with that, jump straight out onto another lap. We did a few more laps. Didn't really set a lap time. Couldn't really get used to the bike. But this is sort of not our best lap, but it's our first, not necessarily clean lap either, but it's our first sort of lap that we're getting used to the bike. We did do some clean laps, but I paused it and refreshed because we went wide on a lot of corners and that sort of thing. So, and I also wasn't using the ride height device, which would have obviously slowed me down, etc, etc. So, we go round the corner. We've activated the ride height device. As we come out of the corner to try and give us as much speed up here, we go onto the brakes into McDoohan corner as it brings us to the left-hand side. We try and hug the curb as the exit and then come into the left for the other curb. Bit of a flip-flop. There's a couple of times we touched that curb and got an invalid lap, which was rather annoying. Get as close to that curb as possible. Up over the top. A little bit of braking. I didn't think we were a bit slow up that hill. For me, in my opinion, there I was a bit too slow. Bit of ride height device as we come down here, as we're getting a bit of acceleration onto the bike, onto the brakes, into the tricky turn 8. Try and hug the curb as much as you can, and then slightly bring it out to the other curbs before you touch it back in as we get another invalid lap. But this was a much cleaner lap, so I kept this one. We go round turn 11, out of turn 11, a little bit wide, but much better than what we were doing. Onto the brakes, turn 12. Bit slow through here, but not too bad, I suppose. Right, up over the hill for turn 11, and as it just goes off camber slightly, you get onto the brake, and we go round the final corner and out with a little bit of ride height device there to get the power down. And we go across the line in an invalid 131.8. So this is the next lap, as we just completely skipped the next lap. As I paused it, went back into the garage just to sort of top up the fuel, which didn't end very well. We ended up doing a few more laps and crashing. So this is our next... I'm pushing too hard, really. I was basically pushing too hard on a bike that I didn't really know. This is our first day of playing the game, so... But yeah, as you can see there, we've done a lot of laps on the tyres. So the left-hand side of the tyres are quite worn. But we brake into the first corner and nearly go wide, but managed to bring it back. Unfortunately, that means we sat the bike up late, which means we didn't get as much power as we would have liked. But anyway, we go round Mid-Doon corner and out. Don't get as close to the curbs that time. Get close to that curb. Onto the brakes. Closer to this curb as well, which should mean we get decent speed out of the corner. Bit wide out of exit into that corner, but not too bad. Did feel like we got a lot more speed through there, but then we go wide into Angel Nito corner. But we come out of there, we use the ride height device. We've got 1.6 laps of fuel. We come round turn 7 and into the tricky turn 8 and get that all wrong. But if we hadn't accelerated there, we probably would have picked up the late apex, but it doesn't really matter. We carried the speed through turn 9 and through turn 10. Hopefully we can pick this down to the apex of this corner. Obviously you can pick up the late apex there. As we come into turn 12 and start going up the lovely turn 13. So here we go. Up over the top. Keep the curb. Keep the curb. You have to be careful of the rear tyre as well, because that wants to skip out on you. Onto the brakes for the final corner. Maybe braked a little bit too early there. But we get round, and this is going to be our first valid lap. So, we cross the line, and a first valid lap of a 132.1, which isn't too bad. We now have the Ghost in front of us. So we come round, and onto the curbs of turn 1. Onto the brakes. We are now in front of our Ghost, but not for long, as they pick up the later apex in the last lap than we did. Yeah. Just sort of giving it a bit of a pause there. Thought about restarting the lap, but then thought, no. Let's stick with it and stick behind our Ghost. Obviously, we know it's us in front of us, but be good to sort of see it from an outstand point of view from the back of the bike, just to sort of see where we're picking up our references from. So we come out of here. Use a bit of ride height device there. We're only 0.3 down on our time as we come into here. But if we can get this last sector of this lap better, we will get in front of our time, which we are currently up. But we go. Can we get a little bit of a neater line through here? Which does mean we're going to get onto the gas a little bit later. But with the ride height device, hopefully that means we can pull away. We braked a little bit later into that corner and managed to gain a bit of time through here. Hopefully we can brake a little bit later than we did coming around the final corner as well, which we do a lot later. We still make the final corner, so that's good. We're out of there. A little bit slower than our other time, but we're gaining time as we use the ride height device. And we go across the line and run out of fuel just as we cross the line with a 131.9. So not a brilliant lap time, but yeah, didn't really do many valid laps, if you like. So we did 3 valid laps. Two valid laps. One of them was invalid. But yeah, the only thing I wanted to do next was to jump on the Vision track. Obviously, fingers crossed it's the bike we can ride next year, or sorry, not next year. This career mode coming up. But if we can't, it doesn't really bother me. It just means that Hopefully we might be able to get to ride it halfway through the season, but I don't think you can. I think you have to stick with your team until the end of the season. Unlike Formula 1 My Team mode. But yeah, so this is our first lap on a Moto 3 machine on MotoGP 22. Obviously this is going to be the first machine we use in the career mode. We're going to go through Moto 3 to Moto 2 to MotoGP as we normally do. I don't really want to leapfrog straight away from Moto 3 to MotoGP, but we'll just sort of see how the season goes, where the seasons take us. Obviously you can see there I'm just sporting that the Vision Track Racing doesn't have a livery at the moment. It is just plain black, as it's a brand new team to the Moto 3 season, which is unfortunate that they don't have a livery, because of it's all liveries from 2021. So round Mick doing for the first time on a Moto 3, and round the turn 3 coming up to turn 4, very wide into turn 4. But not that it really matters on a Moto 3, because you can gain a bit of time with just accelerating out of a corner with Moto 3s, unless you're Dennis Foggia unless you're Dennis Foggia, in which case you just gain all of your times on the main straights, because that Leopard bike has got a main straight sussed. It blasts past most of the field, if not all of the field, when going in a straight line. Then it's got a bike in front of us, or front of it, not just to slipstream either. Very wide through turn 11. A 113.8 at the moment. A little bit too much braking there for turn 12. Up over the top. Turn 13. As we start to come down the hill. I love the sound of the Honda though. I think last year we used a KTM, I'm pretty sure. So it'll be nice to try and maybe use a Husqvarna or a Honda. Rather than the KTM, so we'll just have to see what sort of options we get given to us. So we brake a lot later going into turn 1 as well, and still managed to make the corner. That gains us a good sort of 200 or 200ths of a second for the first corner already. We make Mick doing corner a lot better as well. This is going to be a decent lap for us. We're 3.6 or 0.368 up on our time at the moment, so hopefully we can hold that speed, make these corners. This is only our second lap on a Moto 3 machine. Onto the brakes for Angel Nito. We're nearly a second up on our time now, so that's good. Round the small little turn 7, if you can call that a turn 7. 8. We're going to go very wide into 8 and lose the front end. That's unfortunate. That's a shame. We were on a good lap there. So while we've done that, we'll just check out Helmet Cam. I would love to try and play this game in Helmet Cam, but yeah, it's just too difficult. I don't really get the same feel as I do with the normal view. So we're going to end the session there. We've done a fast lap on a Moto 3, and let's crack on with the career mode in the next video. That is it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button and leave a like on this video. If you liked it that much, could you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? Or if you just want to check out some of my older content, feel free. Maybe check out MotoGP 21 so you can see what we did in the last seasons of the last series of the addition to these MotoGP games. And don't forget that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos as they drop onto the channel. So hopefully we've got a lot more MotoGP 22 to go. My first initial impression of the game is it's really cool. I do enjoy the updates that they've made. I like the ride height device. The bikes feel a lot more fluent into corners and out of corners, a little bit more realistic on the acceleration. But yeah, so yeah, like I say, hopefully we can bring a lot more MotoGP 22 content. We are going to be focusing on Gran Turismo 7 and MotoGP 22. I am thinking maybe we'll see how we go with the different stuff we've got to do to the house. Obviously, I'm not planning a wedding now. I'm not planning a honeymoon. We're just going to be looking at doing stuff around the house and making it our own after recently moving in the last couple of months anyway. So if I can get to it, I'm hoping to bring back 3 videos per week. Stay tuned if you are interested into that. Maybe bringing out a different type of game. So obviously at the moment we're doing racing games, but maybe doing a I've got a game in mind, but I'm not really going to I'm not going to release that just yet. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget that notification bell. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video.